What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today what I want to go over is what I would consider some of my major red flags here. Now, what you can do is let me know in the comments after watching this video, did I get it wrong? Am I tripping? Or what would you consider, your red flags to be? Obviously, we all are here in this dating market trying to navigate it and figure it out. So everybody's input collectively is much appreciated. As I said, you can leave those in the comments. But for me, I've been here in Medellin almost 3 years, have gone on at least 100 dates, if not more. So I think I have a pretty good reference point when it comes to these red flags. Now, starting off with number one, that is going to be wanting to get to know each other for a long time over WhatsApp or texting in general. Generally, if a woman is really interested in you here, I don't want to just say Medellin, I'm going to say Colombia in general, they do not have a problem with meeting up to go out on a date, especially if it is in a public place. Now, if it's the first date, you haven't really met them in person yet, and you're just trying to invite them straight to your house, that I would say is a green flag. But in general, if you've been trying to talk to the girl and you're just trying to invite her out to a public place, maybe a restaurant, out for a coffee or ice cream or something like that, and she says, no, I want to get to know you more first through texting, whether that's through Instagram, a social media platform, or through WhatsApp, that is a major red flag for me. To me, that signals that she really isn't that interested and just looking for attention and validation, or she's just, wasting your time. She's not really that interested or that attracted to you enough to want to meet up with you. So that would be red flag number one. So going into red flag number two, I'm going to say asking for an Uber. Now, a lot of guys may disagree with me on this one, but that is something that I do consider a red flag. Now, generally, if a girl is pretty financially stable, they should be able to get to wherever it is that you want to meet on their own. Most of my positive experiences have been with women who are able to get to the location on themselves, meaning that they're able to afford an Uber or a Didi or whatever it is, whether they get a moto to that location or they get an Uber or a taxi, whatever it may be. Generally, women who are asking you to get the taxi for them or can you order them a car, usually are women who are not very financially stable. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of pushback probably in the comments of guys saying, oh, well, it's their culture. My thing is, as I said, the best experiences that I've had with women are women who have at least a few pesos to their name and can get to a location on their own. Now, as I said, some of you guys may disagree, but for me, it is a red flag. Not a huge red flag, but it is a bit of a red flag if a girl cannot get to the date on her own. So going into the next major red flag for me, asking to bring a friend. This is absolutely a non-negotiable. Some of you guys may disagree, but for me, asking to bring a friend is a no. Not only one is this increasing your cost of the date, you now have to entertain two women that you, especially if you're meeting them for the first time. Let me specify this as well. I'm going to say if this is your meeting the girl for the first time, if you've been out on a few dates with her, then yeah, it may not be an issue. But if you don't know the girl very well and it is the first date and she's asking to bring a cousin, a friend, it's a no for me instantly. Usually after that, I will just stop responding or talking to her, because a girl that's trying to bring a friend, and I would say this is anywhere in the United States as well, or any Western influenced country, where the dating market is, let's just say, not the best. If a woman is trying to bring a friend, she's really not that interested in you, or she, just wants to bring a friend along so they can get a meal if you're inviting them out to dinner or some type of experience on their, on your dime. Now, I've only had one experience of this where it was positive, and that was where I was meeting a girl in the middle of the day. She was already out with a friend in Provenza at a coffee shop. I met up with her and her friend. We talked for a bit, and then afterwards, me and the girl that I met up with, that I was trying to go out on a date with, we then went out on our own and then separated from the friend, but the friend did not stay with us for the whole time. It was just for the beginning duration of the date, and she was already with her friend at a coffee shop in Provenza in the middle of the day. It was not a night date, and she asked, can she bring her friend along with her? Now, as I said, generally if a girl wants to bring a friend, she is really not that interested, and this is a huge red flag for me. All right, so going into the next red flag for me, she is here in Medellin on vacation. Now, this may not apply to other cities like Cartagena or Barranquilla or Santa Marta or Cali or some other place, but I do want to kind of generalize this a little bit. Generally, if a girl is on vacation and she is trying to date while she is on vacation, that is a huge red flag for me. Generally, what happens here, at least in Medellin, these girls are coming from Cartagena or wherever they may be. There is a possibility they may be here working in the 304 sense, shall we say, or they are just here and they're looking for a guy to fund their vacation while they're here. So generally, I like to avoid women who are here, at least in Medellin, on vacation, and I suggest that you do it as well. But like I said, you guys can let me know in the comments, am I tripping or not? So going into what I would consider my next major red flag to be, either suggests the location or she wants to change the location. And I want to give you an example of what this might look like for those of you who may be a little bit confused. And that would be, for example, you are talking to the girl through WhatsApp or on Instagram and you say, hey, let's meet up for a coffee, or, you know, hey, I'm really craving hamburgers. Let's go get hamburgers. And she says, no, I would rather prefer to go to Mamba Negra, or I would rather go to Ritual, or I would rather go to some expensive location, or she would rather go to some other place than the place that you are suggesting. Generally, the women here are very feminine. They're not very combative or difficult to deal with. So if you make a plan, most women are usually okay with whatever plan that is. Like I said, for the most part. So if a girl is trying to change the location that you are suggesting for the date, or that you want to take her out on, you should never suggest anything. You should just tell them this is what we're doing. But if they don't want to go along with that, for example, I remember once I had a girl, I was like, hey, you know, I want to go get hamburgers or whatever. This is just throwing an example out there. And she was like, oh, no, I'm not really that type of girl to want to go out and eat hamburgers. Like, everyone loves hamburgers. So, and I've never had an issue with taking any girls out to that type of date or that type of restaurant before. So ultimately, she wanted to go to something more expensive. So huge red flag for me. All right, so getting into the next red flag, and that is going to be, she is very late to the date. Now, contrary to what everyone tells you, it is the culture here in Latin America for women to be late, but I like to disagree. Maybe on the first date, you can give a bit of a leeway, but generally after that, I don't really give too much of a leeway, and I try to start conditioning the girls, or training them, however you want to word it, to, you know, make sure that they're on time. I always say this, none of these girls have an issue with showing up to work on time. None of them are showing up to work 30 minutes late, an hour late, so they can show up to a date on time. It really just matters. What really matters is if it's important to them or not. So if your time and if meeting up with you is important, they will be on time. Like I said, this is going to be something else that somebody disagrees with me in the comments, but this is something that I consider a red flag. So on the first date, more so, if she is 40 minutes late or more, to me, that's just a blatant sign of disrespect, and that I usually don't tolerate. With 40 minutes to an hour late, at that point, I'm usually just canceling the date. Generally, you should have a plan B, A, B, and C scheduled generally, just because women are very flaky here in Colombia, not just here in Medellin. So I definitely recommend that you do that. So if for some reason one seems like she may flake or is going to be super late, you can pivot and go to your second option. So up next on this list for my non-negotiable red flags, doesn't want to give you her social media or doesn't want to FaceTime. This one, I'm assuming you have not met this girl in person. Like I said, I do not recommend meeting girls on apps, but let's just say for some reason you did. She doesn't want to give you her Instagram and she doesn't want to FaceTime you. Most girls here usually don't have an issue with FaceTiming, but I'm just throwing that in there just to be safe. But generally, if she's not trying to give you her social media, that is a huge red flag. If it's not the number one red flag, it would be number two. And then going into my last major red flag here, and this is by far going to be number one, non-negotiable. And this is if she flakes and she does not reschedule. Generally, most women here aren't going to reschedule, so I wouldn't even really add that part in. I'm just going to say if she flakes. It means she's not that interested. There is pretty much zero interest if she flakes, so I wouldn't even bother communicating with her afterwards, and generally that's how it is for me. If a woman I'm trying to talk to, or I have been talking to for a couple of days or whatever it is, and I'm trying to schedule a date, and we agree upon a time, and then they, for some reason, they're going to give you an excuse, or for some reason they may not even answer, or respond. That's an instant no for me, and after that I'm no longer talking to them, as block, and then move on with my life. So I recommend you guys do the same. So let me know, guys, in the comments if I got this right, if I hit it on the head. If you have anything to add, what are your red flags? Let me know in the comments. And by the way, please like, subscribe, and share this video, or comment. Comment for sure. This is the best way to help push this video out in the algorithm. It is all based off of comments. So even if you don't know what to comment, just comment where you're watching from. But that's it for this video. I appreciate you guys watching, and until the next one, you guys be safe.